So the latest Pharrell NMD pack ended up releasing, and this one seemed to struggle to sell out for the very first time ever. So is that Pharrell NMD wave over with or not? Let's go ahead and discuss in this video. What is going on, guys? Hess here, collectivekicks.com. If you guys want to shop this week's top sneaker deals, check the link in the description, as well as if you guys actually want to buy a pair of these human races, which you can actually get really close to retail. So crazy thing ended up happening with this release. They had 3 colorways release, and all of them seemed to struggle to sell out. The yellow and the red and black colorway was probably the most hyped up, I guess, of the 3. This is the one that I ended up getting out of the 3, which actually I really like on feet. It changes my opinion of the shoe. It just really looks amazing on feet, in my opinion. But that doesn't change the fact that the hype on the NMD Pharrell line seems to have died down a little bit, because these used to sell out immediately and resale was almost double what retail was. Part of the problem that I see from the beginning, though, is retail is $250. So that being said, I just want to have a little discussion point about the Pharrell line. We've seen a lot of mock-ups for other NMDs that are going to be coming soon. Are they oversaturating the market? Are they releasing too many pairs too often, too soon? I don't know the production numbers of the Pharrell NMDs, but I think that the resale market has really dipped on the NMD line from Pharrell in general, exception of the OG colorways that ended up releasing of the very first pack. I think those ones have held their value very well. But also Pharrell is notorious for having some super ultra limited colorways that ended up releasing, or friends and family colorways, and those ones command thousands and thousands of dollars versus the general release pairs like these ones that are struggling to sell out at $250. So why do we even care about the resale market, and why am I bringing it up? I think there's a lot of valid points to keep in mind when you do see the open market price points drop significantly from when they were super high and almost $1,000 for this pair versus other pairs that you could barely get rid of for retail like this one. So I think that it's an interesting point, because that means the next release, potentially, if it's not a colorway, granted this is a really extreme colorway because it's so crazy vibrant, but if the next pack is also crazy over the top and people aren't feeling the actual colorway of the shoe, and they know that the last release like this one didn't do so well, they're not going to want to shell out $250 for a shoe that they can't get $250 back from. And why do we care about that from the general consumer stance? Is because then we can get it potentially under retail. If we wait and get it online, like on StockX, you can actually get it for under retail potentially. Or if there's no profit to be made off of the shoe for a lot of people, they're just not going to end up purchasing the shoe in general. So that means that the product is not going to be moving off of the shelves potentially, and that they don't sell out. And if that ends up happening, that changes the mentality of that product in a lot of consumers' minds. So I think that there is a lot of validity to the resale market and whether or not there's actually a commanding resale value on the shoe, because again, for those people that really want the shoe, they're not going to want to pay retail. They're going to want to try to get it under retail. And we have to determine game day decision when they release, is it going to sell out? And do I have to get them now and get them for that full retail price, which is already kind of steep. The one thing that has been taken away from the mix, though, is buying these shoes immediately, having them sell out, and then flipping them for $100, $200 profit. It seems that that has really died down, unless it's a crazy ultra limited colorway of the Pharrell NMDs that we've seen here and there, or a friends and family colorway, obviously, which commands thousands of dollars, which, by the way, to me is silly that you can literally get the same shoe, the same materials in different colors, and it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars versus the regular ones that are worth $250 depending on. It's crazy to me how something is so limited can just command such a resale value on the product. But anyway, all in all, I think that it's really something that it's important to pay attention to, just so you're not getting stung buying something that's overly expensive. And also, does that mean the hype and the trend itself is just moving away from that product? Once the resale is down on the shoe, the demand on the shoe is down, the desirability on the shoe in general is down, so then it becomes unpopular and uncool. So it's an interesting evolution to see the Pharrell human race line, or in this case the SOLARHU, just kind of diminish as we've seen more and more releases. I will say that some of the colorways have not been super amazing, but I will also want to point out that this one ended up restocking, which was crazy that they actually did a restock of the Trail NMDs. They had the whole pack restock of these, as well as the whole pack of these the week after they released. I think it was too soon. I don't know necessarily why they did that, but it definitely dropped the resale on all of them. I think this colorway is super fire, and I really like this one. This is one that I'm always going to keep regardless of what the price point is, just because I really like this colorway. But I think overall a lot of the colorways really seem to be too wild for people, and really a lot of people are just buying them for the purpose of resale and not for the intent of them liking the shoe. I personally am a fan of the NMD line still, regardless of the hype. My last pair of NMDs, I bought these ones for $83, which is a crazy cheap price point. I also bought some CS1s for like $73 from the Parlay line that I really like. So I'm just a fan of the NMDs, and the crazy colors are definitely a plus to myself. But it's going to be hit and miss amongst the actual consumers that are there for the actual product versus those that are just wanting to sell it. For those that wanted a comparison between the human race soles, though, I did mention this in a previous video. You guys wanted to see this. So this is the very first Pharrell human race sole. As you can see, it's just an NMD sole, and it's literally just the same sole as the regular NMD. So nothing fancy, nothing special about this midsole. You do see the reinforcement here on the side, though, how this unit takes over, and then there's the lacing system and the support as well. Then you change things up a lot on the next couple because you have a real thick shark tooth like design for the bottoms, and they're really crazy heavy, and these are the trail soles of the NMDs, as you can see. So super heavy, and they did this on a lot of different models, including these three as I just showed you. So all three of these ones have the trail NMD soles on the bottoms. But then they changed it up and called these ones the solar hues, and I don't know why they called it solar, but these are actually lighter than the other trail NMDs, and the traction pattern is way different on the solars than on the trails. The overall weight of the shoe is significantly lighter than with these trails, which is so heavy with that midsole. So that's kind of a general look at the upper difference. The overall design of the shoe is the same on the way up, though. Like, it's the same lacing cage on all of them from the very first one to the last. You could see it pretty much is exactly the same, where it has the plugs and then also the lacing section of the shoe. Also, for those wondering, the back of the shoe always has the equal Pharrell Williams on the left and then the Adidas logo on the right. But all in all, the uppers are pretty much exactly the same with the exception of the knit patterns. This one actually has a little bit of different pattern, obviously with the wild jungle print, and it actually sticks out a little bit more on here versus the single color prime knit uppers on these ones. The multicolor prime knit does have a different feel to it as well. It has more of a knit feel to it than the other ones. For those wondering what these actually say on the front of the shoe, it actually stands for Forever Forward in Swahili. So that is what this one stands for. The other ones have very distinctive words on them as well. Anyway, it's kind of a random video. I didn't script as much as I should have for this, so if you guys have questions, leave some comments in the comment section. What do you guys think about the Pharrell human race line, though? Is it something that is on the decline, or is it something that you guys are seeing as desirable still? Personally, I think it's cool, and I always am excited to see what colorways and what vibrant colors they're going to come out with and what sort of themed pack that they end up dropping. And honestly, like, these ones I thought would look hideous on feet just because they're just so crazy looking, but I dig them. I personally think they look dope on feet. So that is where I will leave you guys with this video. But thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments in the comment section. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Notification bell if you want to be notified of when I post. And thank you again for stopping by. More videos very soon. Peace, guys.